He's Tony, I'm Mike. This is week 5, matchup 4 of our Action Bowl.
Holy shit, we're a jam band. Week 4 of the Action Bowl. We are here to see Dolph Lundgren go up against Sho Kosugi. I will be drawing for Sho Kosugi, which means Mike will be drawing for Ivan
Dolph.
Drago himself.
Yeah, if he dies, he dies. Let's see what we got here. Showdown Little Tokyo.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
All right.
Good draw. All right. And for Mr. Kosugi.
I'll bet you it's a ninja film.
You can do it.
I got it. 9 Deaths of the Ninja. I am not familiar with this film at
neither. I
all.
have no
so
idea.
This could be a masterpiece. It could be a train wreck, but we're going to find out. So stay tuned.
So who are we talking about first then? What movie?
First, we are doing Sho Kosugi in the 9 Deaths of the Ninja.
Oh, I had so much fun watching this movie.
So, now, last week we had a little bit of a controversy because Cynthia Rothrock had a little backup from Corey Haim. This week, however, Sho Kosugi had a little backup from one Mr. Mike Ransom.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, that was
Brunoverse all up in this motherfucker.
It was great. Filmed in the Philippines, just like everything else we've been watching.
Yes,
you know, for our quick and dirties with what's it?
The Mike Ransom Brunoverse.
Right, but
Yes.
the Strike Commando,
Yes.
Strike Commando 1 and 2.
Yes. And let's not forget Double Target. But that all being said, you know that you are completely off the chain from the credit sequence when you have Sho Kosugi swinging around a sword and the 3 chicks from the Aerobicize videos.
I texted Tony. 9 Deaths of 007. And you'll understand what I'm talking about when he throws the clip up right here.
With the same smiles I wore.
From that clip on, I was hooked. I was in. I giggled my fucking ass off. I don't know how many times I watched this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this thing.
I had a shit ton of fun watching this one. I honestly, I had never seen this one before. And I thought I'd seen all the Sho Kosugi movies, but this is one that I had not seen. And when I was like, oh shit, it's Mike Ransom.
Time to do a little dancing.
I was all in on that point. And the premise is actually solid. They're a group of people. There is a terrorist who hijacks a bus full of visiting dignitaries and is holding them ransom, and they bring in the magic team of Sho Kosugi and Mike Ransom and a hot blonde that they found at the bar. And they're there to liberate them.
They didn't find her at a bar. She came with the group. She was part of the group.
No, I mean the actress. They found the actress at a bar. They were like, pick the hottest chick here. We're going to give her a role in our movie. Trust me on that one.
Gentlemen, I have some new information for you to consider. While most of you were sleeping.
She was not much of an actress, but she was hot. So
She was very easy on the eyes. And what was it? What they called, like the Black Group or something like that? It's something very simple.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
We're bringing the Black Group.
So,
They're our special ninja team.
The captain of the dart team, Spike Shinobi.
Which
Well, we had the intro to them at the very beginning when they introduced the special ops team, and it's batshit crazy. I mean, you have Sho Kosugi running around throwing karate stars at people, and then you have Mike Ransom, and he's doing Mike Ransom stuff, and then you've got the girl, and she's like, "Oh yes, I detonated all these bombs. Why? Because they're pretty." And this is our elite strike team, and they are going to help you free those hostages. And I was like, I'm in. And then it just. This movie, the one thing this movie did perfectly is the escalation that I was telling you about.
Yes.
It started off crazy, and then it just gets... You have the whole scene with the watermelon at the hotel pool where Sho Kosugi has decided that he's going to use them for swinging practice, and then he tops it all off by serving watermelon to his two teammates, which had me giggling like a damn idiot. You have a midget fight! A legit... midget fight in the lobby of a hotel that has been sent there by the bad guys. You have a batshit crazy antagonist who's in a wheelchair and he's got like that super sweet 80s, pompadour, curly haired thing going on that was so big with all the kids back in the 80s.
yeah, he's a total ripoff of Doctor Strangelove.
Absolutely.
Wholesale, and his crazy sidekick lady with her like Egyptian black helmet hair is like the biggest hair I've ever seen in my life, and that shit did not move.
And then to boot, you have the hostages on the bus, and you have Sho Kosugi's son, that's who that was. That's who the kid was who was being trained to be a ninja.
Yeah?
Yes, that is legitimately Sho. Actually, both of those kids are Sho Kosugi's kids.
I didn't know that.
And they're like doing these sly little things to like help the hostages and foil the bad guys. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was completely over the top. It was
in all the good ways.
Batshit insane.
In all the good ways.
And if you love Bruno Mattei, I legitimately had to look. I had to look and make sure that it's like Edgar something was the director on this, and I was like, is that one of Bruno Mattei's names that he throws up when he doesn't want people? I had to look to see if it was. Turns out it wasn't. The guy that directed this actually directed a lot of batshit crazy action films. So we've got a roster for Quick and Dirty for the next 5 years, I think. But
that's the perfect way you said it, is because it is perfectly elevated Bruno Mattei.
Yeah.
It's like, here's Bruno Mattei, here's this guy.
Yes.
What's his name?
Edgar, it's Edgar something, or I'll throw it right here. But it's like if Bruno Mattei had somebody to just coach him, just walk it through. I think Bruno went to this guy's film class and learned how to make movies from him, and he didn't quite pay attention to some of the lessons. But this is 80s action. This is the good stuff right here. This is the straight dope you picked up at Blockbuster and injected into your brain at 1:30 in the morning.
And there's actually boobies in this one, which Bruno Mattei never puts in his movies.
No.
I don't know why he comes really close, but no boobies. But there's boobies.
So, well, you can't have it all. Bruno wants to keep your expectations. He wants you coming back for, maybe he'll throw a boobie into this one. But this is the Action Bowl, and I'm excited by your reaction to this. So I want to talk some numbers on this one.
So they get better as they go along. Plot's a 4, because it's a typical Bruno Mattei, even though it's not a Bruno Mattei plot.
Yeah.
Kind of half-assed nonsensical, but enough to get you through.
Yeah.
Style, 6. All day long. There's plenty of style in this movie. Fun is an 8. I mean, how can you not have fun watching this movie? Is it a perfect movie? No, but god damn is it
Yes. And more importantly than that, this is a movie that knows exactly what it is and who their audience is, and they cater to it in the best possible ways. So to talk numbers on this one, 9 Deaths of the Ninja. For the plot, I gave it a 5. It was, and I'll tell you why. It was a perfectly average plot. It is a team of military commandos who are sent to rescue hostages from some big evil villain. That's a 5. That's perfectly average. That's right there.
That's a 4.
For style, for style, I gave this a 7. And I gave
Fair
this
enough.
a 7 because this
Fair
movie
enough.
has style in spades. This movie was just, you're absolutely right, mwah, on the style. It knew what it was, it knew what it wanted to be, and it delivered. And for fun, I gave this a 9.
Justifiable
laughed.
all day long.
I enjoyed everything about this movie, from the opening aerobicized samurai video to the closing, hey, let's blow shit up. Why? Because that's what it's there for. It was
Because you got fucking Mike Ransom in her film. That's why.
Scorched earth is the only policy. In a Mike Ransom action film. I would actually say this should be an honorary member of the Brunoverse. Even though it's not a Bruno Mattei film.
It fits right in there.
To me, this is
It's got
canon.
Mike Ransom. It's shot in the Philippines. It's got your basic paramilitary force rescuing somebody. Yes, it hits every fucking checkbox of Bruno Mattei.
This is
Yes.
canon,
Yes.
as far as I'm concerned.
Same here. Same here.
Don't know which or who of us must be blamed.
And squaring off against Sho Kosugi in what we both agree was a really successful action film is Dolph Lundgren in this one. And again, falling back on the Cynthia Rothrock thing with a little help from Brandon Lee. Yeah, that Brandon Lee, the Crow Brandon Lee.
He did fairly well in this movie, Brandon Lee. I don't know if it's actually his first film. I'm sure it's probably the first or the second.
Yeah, first or second. It's very early in his career. It's definitely before The Crow and his untimely death.
And he has some Bruce Lee charm to him.
Hey, here's one. Should I read him his rights?
Sure, if it makes you feel any better. I don't think he's conscious.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so you can see shades of his father coming through in some of his performances in that. All the action scenes in this movie were pretty darn good. The thing that kind of let me down a little bit is Dolph Lundgren.
You got a problem? Baka!
No. No problem at all.
While he's fine, it's just weird seeing a guy that big doing martial arts shit against people much shorter than him.
They actually make a comment about that throughout the course of the film, that he's too big for martial arts. But,
and then his get-up too is way too over stylized with his leather jacket with the Asian theme on the back and his stupid fucking, cargo jeans or the hell this thing or
the Zeke Cavarici pants,
yeah, whatever
man,
the
with
fuck
the
those things
tapered
are.
legs.
It's like they're trying too hard to make him look cool. If they just made him more like a typical detective, probably would have helped quite a bit. For me.
I'm just going to say, I think all of those choices were intentional because the whole premise of the film...
Yeah, they are intentional, but they're the wrong choices.
The whole premise of the film is that Dolph Lundgren is a detective that works in Little Tokyo in Los Angeles, which is, the Japanese version of Chinatown. Yeah. And Dolph Lundgren was actually raised in Japan, and his parents were killed by a Yakuza, and he finds out that Yakuza has come to L.A., and Dolph Lundgren has to exact revenge, not only for the death of his parents, but also for the murder of a really hot girl.
Angel, what am I gonna do with you?
I could do you, even in front of these guys.
And that girl, by the way, is also in one of my personal favorite movies. You hate it.
What kind of party is this gonna be?
We got alcohol, man.
What, like some Annie Green Springs?
Ah, we got the Schnappster. Check it out.
Yes, that movie. These are Charles. Why am I blanking on this movie?
Not Stone Age.
Yes, the Stone Age. Thank you.
That's why I'm here, to remember shit for him. So...
Bitchin'.
I was kind of sad she wasn't in the movie that longer, but then, Tia Carrera was in this, so I was okay with that.
But she had a body double.
Yes, well, yeah, I could have told you that one just based on the hair.
Yeah.
No, no, I mean like when they switch, because Tia Carrera has long, straight hair. But when they switch to the body double, all of a sudden her hair looks like it's bouncing and behaving. It's very full. But I will say that body double was spectacular. So.
There's that. And I didn't realize that she was in this movie, Tia Carrera.
I didn't
caught me off
remember
guard.
she was in this movie.
Yeah.
From an action plot standpoint, it's very Lethal Weapon light.
You've seen this plot a bazillion times.
But it was fun and it
Ish.
worked. And I enjoyed it. And I'm going to say this, for me, my mind, my opinion on this one. If you were to take every action film made between 1990 and 1999 and throw them into a vat and boil them down to make action meth, It would be Showdown in Little Tokyo because it has the complete batshit crazy over the top shootouts. It has the complete batshit crazy over the top action sequences, the fight scenes. It's got the boobs, it's got the hot chicks, it's got the meth and the car chases and
here's the problem with all that. While it has all that, even at 81 minutes for me, it was fucking welcome.
Really?
Yes.
It
very much did. Because he meets up with the big bad, like, it seems like 10 times this fucking movie. Like, over and over they meet up, and they never finish each other off. And I'm like, I got bored.
Yeah?
I got bored. I started off with a score here is whittled down. And you'll see I scratched off my scores and changed them
Okay, so
as the movie went along. Because I'm like, wrap this fucking shit up.
I gotta be honest, I enjoyed this, I think, a bit more than you. The fight scene when they go to the bathhouse was brutal.
It was. It's a good scene. There's a lot of good action scenes in this movie, but there's too many.
And I will say it does go a little over top, but I will also say this. The ending of this film, I was laughing so hard, uncontrollably, and that was when I was doing my scoring. When the bad guy is stapled to a fucking spinning target and the fireworks start going off, and you hear him going, "Ah!" with a spear through his chest, I scored accordingly, because in the action film score chart in my brain, I was just like, who's gonna top that? That was the most batshit crazy thing I've ever seen.
It was a groan for me.
So, and I will.
It was an absolute fucking groan. It's like, really? It's like.
I will also say this. I think Dolph Lundgren carried this film fairly well. Brandon Lee was
He
more
did all
charming.
right. Brandon Lee was infinitely more charming.
But he was more charming. He went on to bigger things. This is a movie that I watched and I was just kind of like, why didn't we get more stuff from Dolph Lundgren? And then I realized that
because he's a mediocre actor.
He is a mediocre actor, but he got A-list vehicles. He got Rocky IV, and then he did the Masters of the Universe movie, which they threw a ton of money at, and it was such a shitty script that they kind of killed it. And I saw this, and I was like, this is his wheelhouse. This is over the top, batshit crazy action films. This is where Dolph Lundgren needed to be.
He needs to take acting lessons. And he needed a director who knows how his strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like with Schwarzenegger, when people directed Schwarzenegger early in his career, even later in his career, here's his strengths, here's his weaknesses. We're gonna, direct around it and really amplify his strengths and hide his weaknesses.
So there's going to be some separation on the scoring on
There
this one,
is.
I think. So let's get to the numbers.
All right. So plot is a 3. You've seen this plot a bazillion fucking times, especially in 80s movies. Oh my God, I could go on and on. Like every action star that ever made an action movie, there is a plot where they go against the Yakuza. It doesn't matter who it is. Wesley Snipes did it. Kirk Douglas did it. Van Damme. I mean, you go on and on. Every freaking one, except for maybe Schwarzenegger. I think Schwarzenegger is the only guy that didn't have a run-in with the Yakuza.
That's because Sean Connery beat him to it.
Probably. Let's see here. Style, a 4. Again, you've seen this thing a bazillion times. It has some great fight scenes in it, but there's a bunch of them. And fun, a 3. I had it scored higher. They're scratched out, but it just went along, and it went too damn long. There's too many times where he met the big bad, and nothing happened, or nobody died, nobody got injured. There's no real consequences. And again, even at 81 minutes, I was ready to check out like an hour into it. I was like, wrap it up. I'm sorry, it started off good because don't get me wrong. When it first started, I saw Brandon Lee and they got their first fight scenes. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. This is a pretty good buddy cop thing going on.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But the problem is, the biggest sin is they didn't cash in on that buddy cop aspect of it. It was not used enough. They wasted way too much time trying to convince me that Tia Carrere is going to sleep with Dolph Lundgren. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I mean, is he a handsome guy? Maybe, I guess. I don't know, but I'm not buying that as a love interest. And the chemistry was not there. There was good chemistry, though, with him and Brandon Lee. Yeah. You should have capitalized on that.
So, well, my score is, like I said, going to be very different from yours. For the plot, I gave this a 6. And I gave it a 6 because it's a perfectly average plot, which is a 5. But the thing I kind of enjoyed about it was the fact that Dolph Lundgren knew all about Asian culture and Brandon Lee's character knew nothing about it. He grew up in the Valley. And I enjoyed that interplay. There was something that was interesting that had not really been done before. So I think they explored it well between the two of them because they were both hotshot cops, you know.
And then the funny thing is the reality is just the opposite of that.
Yeah. So, well, you know, the other thing is, and I got to say this, Brandon Lee, Chinese. Tia Carrere is, I believe she's Filipino. I'm not positive on that one. She might be Vietnamese. But they're cast as Japanese, you know, in this one. And there was a lot of stuntmen and stunt people that if you were paying really close attention, that the henchmen for the big bad in the Mortal Kombat movie, that was the big bad in this one. But if you paid attention to the background, a lot of the henchmen for the Yakuza were actually people that were in big trouble in Little China. Yeah, so, and it wasn't just one or two of them.
You recognize half of them at least.
So for style, I gave it an 8. And
that's generous.
I'm being really generous on that one.
Man, so you really like this movie.
It was fun. I really didn't like that. And just to get down to it, for fun, I had a blast with this movie. I gave it a 9. I know. I can see that, but
holy cow! I know you like shit cinema, but me.
This rides the line. This rides the line of it's a shit movie, but it's also kind of a serious movie. But I don't have to take it seriously. It's over the top, and the action sequences again. The fight scenes are so good. I still want to know how the hell
this baffles me because this is like Lethal Weapon numbers. This is like what a square I give Lethal Weapon, which is an infinitely better movie than this. What the f*** is going on here?
I was enjoying the shit out of this film. I was having fun with it because you're right. It took a lot of the same tropes that were in Lethal Weapon, kind of spun them on their head a little bit, but then it was like completely over the top. And for the Action Bowl, again, the end sequence, the whole samurai fight scene in the middle of the parade, and ending with him being stapled to his spinning target and fireworks going off. I was laughing so hard when that happened. I had to give it a high score on that one because I'm thinking, at the end of the day, this is about me subjectively scoring this film. Did I have fun watching it? I had a complete blast watching this. So I would definitely watch this one again. Is it completely over the top and batshit crazy? Absolutely it is. But we need to add and average some scores here. The movies are watched, the scores are in, and we have a winner. So this, our closest matchup yet, and I think deservedly so on this one, because there was a fairly even playing field on this one. But
it was. And here's the funny thing. If it wasn't for all of the shitty cinema that we've been doing quick and dirties on, this would have been reversed. I would have scored Showdown Little Tokyo higher than Nine Deaths of the Ninja.
Yeah.
But since I have now developed appreciation for shit cinema, here we are.
So, and there you have it there. Speaking of, so Nine Deaths of the Ninja, you scored that one with an 18. I scored that one with a 21. So, I'm sorry, a combined score of 39 and an average of
19.5.
19.5. And then big disagreement on Showdown in Little Tokyo. Showdown in Little Tokyo, you scored it a massive 10. I gave it a 23. And so we have 33 divided by 2. That is 16 and a half. So we have a winner and we have a loser. And all I can say is, Dolph, I'm sad to see you go, but you gotta go. Are we rolling? We're rolling. And if he dies,
he dies.
He dies. So that's it for this week of the Action Bowl. Sho Kosugi moves on. Dolph Lundgren, we don't talk about him no more. We will catch you next week for our showdown between Charles Bronson and Sylvester Stallone. Catch us then.
You have been chosen to meet the challenge.